Tonight, when you look in the mirror, you see one kind of human, one face, one species, one survivor. But the real answer is far stranger. For most of human history, you were not alone. Earth did not belong to one human species. It was shared by different kinds of humans, adapting to different worlds. Some were strong, some were small. Some made tools. Some buried their dead. Some left DNA inside people alive today. So what happened to them? The story does not begin with extinction. It begins with a crowded family. Your species, Homo sapiens, evolved in Africa, but other human relatives had already spread across the world long before you. Homo erectus walked out of Africa hundreds of thousands of years earlier. Neanderthals lived across Europe and Western Asia. Denisovans lived somewhere across Asia, known mostly from tiny fragments of bone and teeth. On the island of Flores, a small human species called Homo floresiensis survived with a body so short it shocked scientists. This was not a straight line, it was a branching tree, and for a long time, many branches were alive at once. The paleoanthropologist Chris Stringer has spent decades explaining that human evolution was not a ladder. It was messy. It was regional. It was full of experiments. Different human groups survived in different landscapes until the world began to change around them. Neanderthals are the most famous vanished humans. They were not stupid cave brutes. They had large brains, strong bodies, tools, fire, and social lives. They cared for injured group members. They survived cold worlds that would break most modern people. But surviving for a long time does not mean surviving forever. About 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals disappeared. The timing is important. Modern humans were expanding into Europe and Asia. The climate was unstable. Animal populations were shifting. Small groups may have become isolated. A few bad generations could have changed everything. This is the first uncomfortable truth. Extinction does not always need one dramatic disaster. Sometimes it is pressure from many sides. Less food, changing weather, fewer children, more competition, smaller groups, one winter too many, one lost hunting ground too many. Jean-Jacques, who helped study important early Homo sapiens fossils from Morocco, has shown how deep and complex the African story of our own species is. Modern humans were not born in one simple moment. While other humans were adapting elsewhere, your ancestors were changing too. And that may have mattered more than raw strength. Homo sapiens were not the strongest humans. Neanderthals were physically powerful. Homo erectus survived for an enormous stretch of time. But your species may have become especially good at connecting, sharing information, trading materials, moving between groups, copying useful ideas, surviving through larger networks. Then ancient DNA changed the story again. The geneticist Svante Pääbo and his team helped sequence Neanderthal DNA. The result was shocking. Neanderthals did not vanish completely. They mixed with some ancestors of living people. Today, many people outside Africa carry a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA. Denisovans changed the story too. Scientists first identified them from a tiny finger bone found in Denisova Cave in Siberia. One fragment revealed a hidden human population. But DNA revealed a group that had once crossed paths with ancestors of people in Asia and Oceania. Some living people still carry Denisovan ancestry. So the disappeared humans are not simply gone. Some of them became part of you. Not as stories, as biology. This is the twist. Your species did not only replace other humans. Sometimes it met them. Sometimes it competed with them. Sometimes it had children with them. The last human species alive is not pure and separate. It is a survivor carrying echoes. David Reich, who studies ancient DNA, has helped show how human history is full of mixture, migration, and replacement. The old idea of clean separate populations keeps falling apart. People moved, groups met, genes crossed borders before borders existed. That makes the mirror stranger. When you look at your face, you are not seeing the winner of a simple race. You are seeing the last branch of a family that used to be much larger. The other branches broke, blended, or disappeared into time. Their tools remained. Their bones remained. Their DNA remained. Their silence remained. And maybe that is why their story feels unsettling. Because they were not animals outside the human world. They were humans inside it. Close enough to recognize. Different enough to remind you that survival was never guaranteed. So tonight, when you look in the mirror, you are not only seeing one kind of human, you are seeing the last survivor of a world that once had many.